Hey everyone, it's Carrie and welcome back to another video. Today you guys are going to be at a different angle, just I think actually for a majority of this video, so that's going to be exciting. But today I thought, how fun would it be to do a little bit of a crochet tutorial? I get asked fairly frequently about certain things, certain stitches, how to join things, how to do all this type stuff, and I thought what better time than to make a little video about joining legs. I know when I first started crocheting it was a little bit daunting with the joining legs things because I think the original couple patterns I actually did not have any type of description or anything to help. They would just say like join the legs and you need to have this many stitches in the end, or some of the joinings of course use chaining and stuff, and I just really had no idea how to do any of that. I would always mess up the stitch count, or I would have to add something in the next round or decrease in the next round. And then I also, for the longest times, if I had anything that had color changes or anything, I can't tell you how many times when I first started out I would accidentally join the legs, so then the color changes were flipped, so it didn't matter what side I did as the front or the back, there was the color change. Now luckily I use a little bit of my brain to keep color changes and stuff on the back side, but I definitely had a lot of issues when I was first starting out, so I thought it'd be a great time to make this video because I know some people have asked me before, and it's definitely a skill that you'll want to have if you're going to be doing any type of plushies, particularly if you're doing a lot of standing up plushies. A majority of the plushies that I make, if I'm given an option, are typically standing. Some people prefer the sitting one. I don't particularly have a problem with the sitting version of most of these patterns. It's just I always look at it as where can I take away some of the sewing aspect, particularly if I'm making things for markets. If I have a custom order and somebody wants it sitting, I've got no issue there. But if I'm on a bit of a time crunch and I want to do things quicker, I do typically look at doing standing because that's two less things that I have to sew onto the body and make sure they're positioned correctly, because somehow I always mess up on the positioning. I do typically do standing. So the pattern that we are going to be going off of is going to be my own pattern, but just know you could literally do this with any pattern. The one I typically do is in most of my patterns, or if I'm not specified to, I will do the 4th stitch of the first leg and then only do say if I have 12 stitches in a leg, I'll do 10 on the other one. I'll show you guys. But definitely if you are doing any other pattern, the joining, you can easily modify it or do the same thing like I do, or sometimes if I'm doing a solid color, then I'll flip the leg that I did first around and then go in the middle so the heights are the same. But I'm gonna show you guys how I would crochet it with my mini cows that I have right here, especially since I'm getting ready to do my market in March. I am definitely getting into market prep mode. I have about 213 items right now, but I'm definitely gonna be trying to push myself to get up to 350 or 400, we'll see. But we're gonna be doing this little tutorial using this, but like I said, you can easily take this video and apply it to any other pattern that you might be confused with. Alrighty everyone, we are doing a different view now, and if you can't tell, that is one of my horses over there. I am very fortunate to have a setup now where I can look out and have some sunshine. Well, it's raining today, but I can see my horses. How cool is that? So we're gonna be doing the leg portion of the cow today, and I have to apologize, it is a little bit rainy, cloudy. The weather was not working with me today. There's my horse playing. She chases a ball. If you see her running around, don't be surprised. I went ahead and crocheted this first piece. For my mini cow pattern and how I typically do most of my joining of legs, if I don't have, for say, sometimes somebody will say, oh, do it on the, I don't know, 6 stitch, or do it with chain. If I don't have a pattern that specifically specifies where I should do it, then this is how I do it, and this is how I wrote it up for my pattern. I'm gonna do it a little bit so you guys can see better. This is just a box of stitch markers. If you guys are ever interested, I actually think that these stitch markers right here are some of my favorite. They're thin enough that they aren't clunky like these ones and are really easy to get off. With my mini cow pattern, when we're creating the legs, it says that in the first leg we fasten off. Always leave a very long yarn tail whenever you're joining legs because you will use this later on to sew the gap. I left my long yarn tail and then I'm gonna mark the 4th stitch of the last round on the first leg. What that basically means is when I do it is this is my last stitch of the last round. I'm gonna count 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and mark my 4th stitch. So I want you to notice that when I mark my 4th stitch, my color change is typically in the back or it can be on the inside depending on if I change it at all, but this is pretty much where I do it. So I'm currently working on the last round of my 2nd leg. So we're gonna complete this together. For my pattern in particular, instead of crocheting the 18 like we would on the first leg, we're gonna only be crocheting 16. So we're gonna continue this. So we're gonna leave 2 at the end. So let's make our way around. And let me tell you guys, nobody tells you how weird it is to crochet in front of a camera like this. It's very awkward. So if I miss anything, like my stitches or I'm not in the camera, I'm gonna apologize. Okay, so we are at 16 here. This is my stitch marker that lets me know where I started my round. I have 2 left. These are my last 2. So I'm gonna take my first leg and you're gonna see, I'll show you guys right now. The color change is on the back. So I'm gonna take this on this 4th stitch right here that I have marked with the stitch marker. I'm gonna insert my hook and I'm gonna take the stitch marker out for my sake. Take my yarn and I'm gonna do a single crochet. So see, this is how we're gonna start to join our legs. So you're gonna take that stitch marker and this single crochet that I just made, see if you guys can see it, this single crochet, I'm gonna put my stitch marker right in that, like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one. Now we have the beginning stages of our legs being joined. So this first stitch that we made is actually going to be the first stitch of our body. I know when I first started out, I didn't always count this as being the first stitch because I was like, well, okay, I haven't started stitching around the legs or anything, but this is actually gonna be your first stitch. So with these 2 legs together, we're gonna be having 36 stitches in total for this round. So we're gonna start, and I always count. I count a lot when I crochet, and especially when I'm doing the legs, just because I wanna make certain. So I'm gonna count with you guys so you can basically, you know, hear or whatever. So this is my first one. So I'm gonna be starting on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me get some more yarn. 7, 8, 9, oops, 10, like I said, it's awkward with this camera, 11, 12, 13, get a little bit more yarn, 14, okay, now here, I'm gonna put my hook in here and still draw this up as 15. This nice long string that I've left for sewing my legs, I'm gonna flip it to the inside and y'all will see why. So I'm on 15 right there. So let me clear the yarn fuzzies. What you wanna do is you wanna look and you wanna see, okay, this is not the stitch I'm gonna go into. Because, right, this is where I ended my stitch. So I'm gonna go to the one next to it, pull up, that's 16. And now we're gonna complete around the first leg, which will have this at 17, 18. All right, so we've just completed this around the first leg. Now we need to do the second leg. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna look at this too. One way you can tell is pull this a little bit and see this stitch right here. This is not the stitch we're gonna go into. We're gonna go into the stitch next to it right there because see, this is how one way I figure out, I'm like, okay, if I'm pulling this, I can see this is connected. I don't want this stitch. I want the stitch right next to it. So we're gonna put 19 right there. And then we're gonna continue around. So this is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Get a little bit more yarn. 28, 29, 30, 31, okay, 32, 33, 34, 35, and then 36 right there. All right, so basically you have joined your legs right there. So like I said, I'm gonna show you guys, if I was normally doing this, I would wait to get a few more, like 1 or 2 more rounds before I would sew. Or honestly, when I normally crochet, I pull this right through here like I just showed you guys. You're gonna take your crochet hook in this gap that you have, and you pull through and you grab that long string that you have left and just pull it through like this. Typically for me, I will sew at the end, but that's just a me thing. I always leave my sewing as the last thing to do. And I'm gonna show y'all. So doing it this way makes the color changes on the back. So this is gonna make it a front, and as you can see, no color changes there. The color changes are happening in the back. So it makes it look really uniformed, like these guys where you have it the same thing, color changes in the back. Or like this cow, which is the same, and then color changes in the back. So that is pretty much how you join your legs. And like I said, what I would do is just continue crocheting on, and as I got later on, I would just take my needle and go back and forth and tighten up this hole right here. But it's pretty normal to have a gap when you are doing any form of joining of legs. If you were going to be doing legs that are having like a chain, the only difference is you would count either side of the chain. And if you guys are interested in seeing a video for that, just let me know because I've done many. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial. And like I said, now we've got our little legs joined together and ready to continue to make our little mini cow. But like I said, you can definitely use this for pretty much any way to join legs. I find that doing it where I count the 4 for the first leg and then not doing the last 2 of the last round like I have it set up for my mini cow works on pretty much most patterns, and also keeps the color changes in the back and keeps the height a little bit better. If you guys have any more questions or if you would like to see tutorials on any other thing, please let me know. I would love to do it, and I apologize for the lighting being a little iffy, and then 2, it is so awkward crocheting in front of a camera. Like I have to have it here and I kind of keep my arms around it, so it can be quite awkward at times, but I tried my best, so hopefully you guys can get something out of this video. I'm going to finish crocheting this little cow for my market and keep making more because I have my first market in a month and we're gonna see how it goes. I have very big plans for my markets this year and taking it one step at a time like everything in life. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day, and if you guys like this video, make certain to leave a like, subscribe, you know, all that fun little stuff. stuff. And if you have anything else you'd like to see from me in terms of tutorials, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to record things. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.